Things are finally heating up between Noah and Grace. Jack wants to go back to acting, and while Karen is just being Karen, Will and Grace After Show. Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Will and Grace After Show Season 10, Episode 6. We didn't have an episode last week. We were so sad. I'm so excited to be here. I'm Louisa Shar, and before we dig in, I want to introduce my beautiful panel tonight.
Hey everybody, I'm Kristen McLaughlin. Thank you again for tuning in.
Hey guys, and I'm Maite Carrillo.
We're so happy to be back. Such a funny episode. Again, last week there was no episode, so we were kind of sad about that, but we're back and we're in action. And tonight was overall funny, but overall, what was your opinions for tonight's episode?
Ooh, the drama.
Yeah.
Wow, I was just like, hold up a second. Drama everywhere you went. So
Yeah.
it was definitely worth watching. Very delicious.
Definitely. And before we dig in, I do want to say we have some fun news and gossip tonight. We have a great special segment and some fun news that me and Maite will share.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I can't wait for us to
we
share
have
what
some fun
we
stuff, and we have to keep it in for a week, okay? So let's get it going. Okay, so the episode starts off a lot with, Jack kind of contemplating about his life again. Like, he was just, a psychic, right? And now he's going back to acting. So how do we feel about that transition?
I love it, and I love the fact that when he walked in, he was just in theater mode, and we got to just the entire episode. It was just like having a smile on my face, because I'm like, this is his element. This is where he's meant to be.
Yes, I agree. I totally was like, I would go watch that play.
Yeah.
I totally would watch that play. They should have him play Lincoln in real life. On Broadway or somewhere. I don't even care. Even a tiny little theater out here, but it was hilarious.
It's a gay Lincoln.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it's so good, so good.
It's Gabraham Twinken.
Yes.
Gabraham
Twinken. I mean, that's just brilliant. But
and then the music that they paired it with,
Yeah.
and it was just like so on point. So
And that's the thing with Jack that we love. We know he's not going to be consistent in anything. Like, one week he's a psychic, one day he's this and that, but it also makes it so relatable to everyone like us, too. Like, you wake up, you have an idea, you want to pursue it. But what do we think about Karen and her trying to support him, but, as being a producer?
Well, I think she had said it had to do with investments.
Yeah.
So it's not surprising that she was saying that she needed to invest in something that would be sort of a disaster, right? So, I wasn't really surprised by that she chose him. Obviously, she knows Jack. She knows that he sort of is a hot mess and he doesn't really keep to anything. So, perfect investment, right?
It was so sad though, because it's just, you want to support your friend, and she's like, yeah, go ahead, continue on. But then when she realized her name was part of it, her selfishness kicked in, and she's like, hold up, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But does that really surprise you?
No, it doesn't surprise me coming from her, but it's just, as a friend, the whole situation of her friendship.
That's
the meaning of
that's
friendship.
What I'm saying. Like, it was kind of sad because, okay, so you're his producer and all of that, right? And then once you see it says Karen Walker presents, you get all nervous.
Yeah.
But then you go behind his back and you bring Jon Cryer in, which is great, by the way. We love Jon Cryer. Shout out to you. But how does that as a friend? You don't do that. Like, you don't.
You definitely
like,
don't
sad.
do that. But am I surprised?
No.
It's
Okay.
Karen.
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. I mean, she needed to save face, but what it came down to was that she realized through Jon Cryer's amazing performance that like they have something bigger than just what she looks like, right?
Yeah.
To other people. She realized like friendship meant the most to her, and she chose that, which is like so different for Karen.
Yeah.
Karen never does that. Karen always chooses Karen.
Of course.
Yeah. I wanted to see Jon Cryer and Jack both
Do a stand.
Yeah.
do a stand,
Go
right?
ahead.
Just to go at it, and maybe both of them played Jack, and I'd still go and watch
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But I just
Of
wanted
course.
I wanted to see them both interact in some way, and I felt like this episode was so short.
It was.
Because it was really fully loaded. You
Yeah.
had Jon Cryer, you had Noah with all of his situation, and then it's just like you're trying to keep up. But at the end, it said like to be continued, I guess.
I think
Yes.
this is definitely part one of this episode.
It makes me want
Yeah.
to see more
Yeah,
though.
it
They
does.
did
Kids and play.
They did what they were supposed to do, entice us.
And the idea of him playing Lincoln and having this whole, like, you know, gay life that he had or whatever that he had or he didn't have, but I just feel like Jack really knows how to bring stuff like that alive. But also, I think it woke up their friendship, too. Because at the end of the day, you want to support your friend in whatever they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And I think they did, though. They found that balance.
100%.
You know, they're moving forward.
Yeah.
But I did want to say this funny thing that Jack did mention. He said something like, I know we have to wait till then, but it says, man in emancipation.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
So good.
But before we go to our next topic, let's have our live read.
Oh, yes. Hey, AfterBuzzers. You know, we love you guys always tuning in. Our network produces after shows for nearly all of your favorite TV shows. You have one, we name it, we have it here. From dramas, reality TV, sci-fi, and more, there is really no other network that works harder to serve television fans. But we need your help. We're asking that you please subscribe to one or more of our YouTube channels. By subscribing to our channel, YouTube will suggest content that's tailor-made for you, and you'll help AfterBuzz continue to grow. And if you're worried about those pesky notifications, don't be, because they're optional. I kid you not, when you click subscribe, it'll ask you about those notifications. So hit that subscribe button now for this channel and check out other AfterBuzz YouTube channels as well. Let us know you did in the comments, and we'll thank you on air next week. So you have a week to do it. For now, thanks so much for being the best fans and for helping us be the ESPN of TV Talk.
Woo! Thank you guys. And of course, we are on iTunes. That was
love
nice, right? Is that you?
Yeah.
That was so good.
That was perfect.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was me on auto tune.
Yeah, it was my first time hearing it. But yes, we are on Spotify now, so add us there as well. We have all your shows. We are seriously like a buffet for all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So just tune in, watch us. We have a live feed as well. You can chat, you can comment, you can do all of that. So, okay, let's talk about the juiciest part of the night. Noah and Grace. So that's how the episode even opened up. We see that they obviously had a night together. They woke up. He was trying to go to work.
Yeah.
Which shows that finally they're hooking up.
Oh, and he lost his underwear.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
obviously
yeah.
it's good.
It's good.
Yeah, and I think it escalated to something that had to be John, right? Because we thought about that, like, why aren't they hooking up? Like, it was like how many weeks? Like, why aren't they sleeping together? But it was funny, the comment that he made, something like, "Oh, you don't know what a man's underwear looks like," because Will's gay, obviously. Like, it's
So
funny.
good. So good.
But so that happened, and then we also saw that Will is trying to avoid Noah. So how do we feel about that scenario before we talk about the other things?
Well, I mean, they didn't really show a lot of interaction before
Yeah.
this episode between him and Will, so I was a little disappointed about that. Like, what do you mean you're trying to avoid him? Like, what's going on here? Let's get a little backstory. But I guess there wasn't really much to tell. I guess, you know, that's why they maybe brought it up. It would be like a new conflict in that, and it sets up, you know, what is about to transpire. But I mean, I kind of get it. You know, I have a roommate, so I get it. Like, I don't want to, like, always interact with, like, whomever he brings over. And, you know, once they get super comfortable with somebody, you kind of, like, just want to, like, stay out of it. And we all know Noah. Noah is known for being sort of a, you know, a jerk, you know? And I think Will, you know, and that whole entire group, they're kind of jerky with each other, but they love each other and they know each other for so long that it's allowed. Bringing in another guy, maybe you might be a little jealous, you know?
Yeah.
I was thinking the same thing. I think Will is just very territorial.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, well, I'm going to give this guy a hard time. Like, let me check this out. But I was a bit, I don't know, I think I was a little bit confused too because, like Crystal said, we didn't get much of a storyline behind it. So I was just questioning why Grace didn't bring him in sooner, knowing that Will was like is her best friend and they lived together. So I don't know how that just didn't happen earlier.
You mean bring him home earlier? Or
yeah,
like to introduce him?
To introduce him.
But I think Will knew that they were going out, right?
Yeah, but they had never met officially.
They met during, I think, the campaign thing, and then the vibe is what Will doesn't like.
Yeah.
Like, he's so mean, he's such a Twitter, you know, troll, or whatever that he is.
Yeah.
So I think that's why probably
And
Grace
he's
was trying to...
protective.
Yeah, Grace was just trying to keep that, you know, distance.
Yeah.
But how smart is Grace for planning that night for them to meet together?
Oh, so so funny.
Amazing. So
Amazing.
sneaky.
It's so sneaky.
So sneaky.
She appeased both of them in the things that they love.
Yeah.
And, I love me a BLT. I would have been there too. And
oh
a
my God.
skinny, like, wine.
Yes.
Skinny girl wine. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Amazing.
It's like she knows both of them
So
perfectly
well.
and she's trying to bring them together. That's so sweet. I wish she would have been there in that mix.
Yeah.
For that interaction.
And I think any girl will do that though.
Yeah.
If she wants her best friend to get along with her boyfriend, you know.
Yeah, but did you also notice that Noah didn't give in to Will's? Like Will was trying to give Noah a hard time, and Noah wasn't giving in. He wasn't. He was just like, no, this is. I'm gonna snap at you, and you're gonna snap a different way. This is me, and that's you.
Yeah. And then also I love that Will didn't, like, back down either. He, like, went to go get West Side Story, and was, like, basically telling him, like, we're going to watch this together, and you're going to like it.
And I love the difference between two men, like how, but also Will was being a bit more masculine.
Yeah.
We've kind of seen him before.
Yeah.
But so one thing that did happen was he overheard Noah on a phone call and assumed it's a girl, but we find out Noah has a daughter.
I know.
And you kind of already knew. I don't know how you knew.
I don't know how you knew.
Because we were going crazy. Like, what?
I kid you not, you guys. Louisa got out of the chair and she was facing the camera. Not the camera, the television. She's like, "What? Who is this? What?" Like, you were going out of control.
I know. I just want Grace to be happy.
Yeah, totally. I think we all do. I think she definitely is in her prime right now, so why not?
In her prime, hot and juicy, ready to go.
That speech that she gave, though, about knowing what she wanted.
Preach,
are we gonna get into?
Of course,
okay,
get into it.
She said, and I wrote this down. I know who I am. I know what I need. I was like, oh my God, preach. I want more.
Yeah.
I need more.
Yeah,
she's like, I've already been through all these. She hasn't been through men, but she said something. And like she knows
She's
what she wants.
experienced enough at that age to know what she wants, and if I'm gonna ask you to tell you how you feel about me, you better articulate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
she
gave
gave
me the
she gave him like a countdown too.
24 seconds.
24 seconds, and then she like skipped like 10 of them. It was like 10, 9, 8, and he's like, I love you. He gave out the love word. Are you kidding me? I was like, hold up a second, rewind.
But after 3 dates. 3-4 days? This is longer, right?
I feel like it's longer.
It's longer. Okay. But here's the thing. Is Grace right to overreact how she did with the whole daughter situation?
Yes.
For keeping it so long from her?
I think I think that depends on each person. I totally get it because I grew up in a household where my parents were separated and like you know, sometimes it's good to give a little bit of an open space before you tell someone. But there's also like there comes a time where like there's too long of a space, right? Mm-hmm. So maybe this time around, I would say like he probably told her around the time he should have told her. I know that she felt that it wasn't, but then again, she's not a parent, so how would she know?
Yeah, I think it all depends because I'm thinking now. Me being myself, and if I were to date someone who had a kid, I would already know because I would social media stalk and try and find out more information about this person.
Yeah.
So I think I'd end up finding out regardless. But I think that for her, once he was able to, I don't know, give an explanation as to why he didn't bring it up, I was able to understand it. And Grace looked like she understood it too.
Yeah.
But was Will in the wrong for telling her like that? No, right? Because it's the truth.
And it's her best friend.
Her best friend.
It's your best friend. Doesn't matter how deep you are.
Yeah.
Or who cares if it's healthy? You guys have been doing it for years.
I think it's sort of ridiculous that Noah would even request that he keep that a secret.
Right?
Like, what he should have said, well, you know, I kind of like how they played it out, which is like he gave him 24 hours. So he gave him an opportunity. And like he said, you're supposed to tell her at dinner.
Yeah.
And she obviously was not told at dinner. And of course, she lied about the soup incident, which I thought was really funny. I just love how they always use. I just love how they always use like moments that are really serious and like bring in humor. So that was like great. Again, they always do that. Always perfect. But I think that him giving the 24-hour window was perfect. So she can't be upset with Will. And then shame on Noah for not saying it, I think he didn't say it, though, not because of the soup situation, but because he was scared.
Yeah.
And so, it was a good thing that Will went ahead and spilled the beans, because at the same time, like, she needed to know. And, she would have been upset with him if, like, I feel like she would have been more upset with Will if she found out from Noah.
Exactly.
And instead of finding out from Will, and he knew.
Because if that's your bestie, you have to tell them everything.
You have to.
That's a rule.
And you know what, too? I like the fact that Noah didn't get upset at Will.
Yeah.
For him spilling telling Grace. Yeah. That shows a lot of his character, too.
I think it's man code, you know what I mean? Like, they get it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because he could have easily been like, what the hell, Will? Like, I was supposed to tell her. Why are you butting in? This is, like, our relationship, not your relationship. He could have easily played that card, but he didn't.
But why did Noah say, you're not going to meet Katie yet? Was that just because they're so new? Because that's something like leaving us little bits of pieces to the next episode.
I don't know. What do you think?
I think the baby mama has something to do here. Yeah, like maybe she's psycho and overprotective, and he's like, no, I am not opening up that can of worms.
Yeah.
Maybe, maybe it's about Katie. Maybe Katie doesn't want him to be with someone else.
Jealousy, little girl. Yep.
When you're 12 years old, you're about to be a teenager. You're full of emotions, and like you definitely don't want to see daddy dating anyone new. Like you're daddy's girl. Like someone else is gonna come into the picture and take up all that energy and time. Like no, it's not happening, right? So it could be either or. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I feel like Grace, maybe being a woman, will understand that. Also, though, how powerful is it for her to realize at her age right now that she knows exactly what she wants, and like she's not missing out anything. She's like, you have 24 seconds. If you don't tell me what you mean, I'm out.
Girl,
she gives me
in that place right now.
Like you are, but you are, Crystal.
Yeah, I totally am in that place.
And
I totally get it.
Yeah, it takes a while for younger girls or any kind of woman to really evolve into that spot.
Your own,
Come into your own.
Yes.
Know your worth and everything. It's just beautiful. This show just shows so many different aspects of being a woman.
Yeah, just everything, everyone, everybody can relate to this.
Yes.
And I think it's good to shine the light on women in a good way.
Absolutely.
Not as like a damsel in distress willing to take anything.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, or like catering herself to him, you know? Like,
oh no.
Putting herself into a position that would be acceptable towards him. So
absolutely.
I think they do such an amazing job to portray every angle of, a human being a human in different ways, and we can talk about our special segment right now, which is basically how we pick our favorite lines from the show and we just write it down. It's supposed to be one, but it's always like 5. So we can talk about that, and then because we have some exciting news.
Yes.
So I wrote down a lot, but let's start with Maite.
Yeah, Maite.
I only have one, and I said it earlier. Yeah, this is the one that stood out to me most, but it was the one Grace said. I know who I am, and I know what I need. I get it's not funny, but this was just
that's a powerful message.
Yeah, right. And this is the one that stood out to me the most.
I have 2. One was Will saying to Karen, are you not high?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was so good. And then also, actually, I got 3. Oh, my
God.
Ooh. Grace says, oh, my God, if I turned another guy gay, I'm jumping out the window.
Oh, yeah.
And then when, of course, Noah said he loved Grace, he said, I love you. And she goes, what? Grace says, what? I didn't hear you when I was buzzing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was super cute. And, like, obviously that shows, like, a more playful side of her because she's always sort of got her guard up. So I thought that was really sweet because she just wanted to hear him say it again.
As a woman, you always crave that.
Oh, 100%.
Doesn't matter what stage you are and what dating phase you are, you want to hear that all the time.
That. If they say it too soon, that's a red flag. You better run.
Clingy step pies.
Yeah, really.
Gosh, I mean, I have a few. I did mention mine earlier. One is Gabraham Twinkin.
Oh, so
I mean,
good.
how do you guys even come up with that vocabulary and the words? Like, I can't. Like,
so good. That's why they're on the show.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Like, how does your mind expand to that level? And then, oh my God, when Karen told Jack during his little moment, she said, less jacking, more acting.
Oh, yeah, I wrote that one too.
So good.
Yeah.
Like, amazing.
So good.
And then this is when Noah was talking to Will about regrets and past and stuff like that. And he said, in my past life or whatever, I would kill Hitler invest in Apple, and then tell Grace about Katie.
Yeah.
I just kept shaking my head. Yes, yes, I would too.
We
I
would do all that too, and we would definitely invest in Apple.
Yes.
Yep.
It's so good.
If we understood stocks and stuff, because that's a whole different can of worms. Okay, so what else do I have before? Because I have, oh my God, when Karen said Shakespeare.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Super good.
And
Play with
then,
words.
Yeah, so amazing. And then let's see. That's a wrap for that. But now let's talk about some news and gossip that we've been waiting for over a week, you guys.
So
Finally.
Yeah. Okay, so last week, Maite had... last week, right? Maite had invited me to go to a live taping of Will and Grace.
Yeah, because I got it like that. No, I'm kidding. I don't.
Yeah.
It just randomly got an email from One Iota, and I was like, oh my God, I signed up for 3 and we only got 2. And I was like, great.
Of course.
I know. And I'm sorry. Thank you.
I could care less. I'm joking.
But
so much fun.
It was so much fun. You won that Will and Grace t-shirt.
I won a shirt because I was so impatient and loud, and I would just raise my hand every second. So at the end of the day, he's like, Lulu, here you go.
He called you Lulu, right?
Yeah,
Which
or
was the
Lulu.
MC.
Yeah.
So they have this MC that's kind of entertaining the audience.
So
it was
good.
a full house. I kid you not. It was just... And we were there for how many hours? I think it was like 6 or 7
oh my
hours.
God. Overall, the whole day, she picked me up like at 1. No, we met up here by AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah.
We parked our car. It was like an 8-hour experience, but on set, it was like 6 to 7 hours.
Yeah, but when the cast came out and they were getting ready to kind of like unveil themselves, it was like everybody just stood up to the ground, started clapping, and I felt chills all over me. I was like, oh my God, that's Grace. That's Jack. Like, they're literally right there.
Yeah. And the thing is, Crystal, like, that we didn't know. So basically, after they go off of the audience's laugh. So if they say a certain line and we don't laugh, they literally huddle, and it's called the comedy think tank mode. They all come together. I'm talking about the creators, the men in suits, all the high top people. But they're all there. The writers, whoever they are.
That's amazing.
They come close, and they're just like working like little ants. And they go off of how we're feeling, and then 2 minutes later, you hear a different line, and then we say, that's better, and they go off of that one.
Right.
Wow.
So much work.
That's why it's so good.
Oh my God, like there's no word of how perfection this show is.
Yeah.
And what else happened? I mean, just...
I think that what you said right now really stood out because it was just a huge amount. It was like all these writers, I think it's just like 20 of them huddled together, and then they go and they tell the lines to like the cast, and then it's crazy how the cast members can just memorize a line on the spot and start the scene from the very beginning and incorporate the new lines. And you know who's so good at that I realized was Will.
Yes.
He was just able, as we saw them act, I feel like that's how they really are in real life.
They're not different. They're so authentic.
And they're so funny together, and they were making the audience laugh, and they were just being themselves, and they even took their time, right, to talk to us.
Yeah,
do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, they had a microphone. They were asking questions, asking what we had to say, and also Debra was taking selfies, with everyone, and then Megan had a cute little episode with the little with the doggy. The doggy had his or her own personal assistant.
So cute, yeah.
And then every time something was off, one of the writers would come close and just whisper in their ear, and then like they would change it. So much love and like connection. And the director, I mean, it's such a family.
That's why the show works.
Right.
And so many people on set for like that.
So successful.
And they tape every Wednesday, right? Is that what
I think it was just like, I think it's 2 or 3 times during the week.
Yeah, okay.
But it was definitely an experience that everybody should go at least one time.
Yeah.
Whether it's for Will and Grace or any live taping, just to get the feel of it, because it's so much more funny when you're watching it live, because they had these monitors. They had these monitors, I think it was like 5 or 6 of them up top, and it was like as if you could see them on TV. But there's also the difference when you're watching them live, and what the MC would say, he's like, make sure you're not looking at the screen because it's so much more funnier when you're watching them live.
Yeah.
It is.
Because we watch it on screen anyway. Might as well look at the real human doing the work. And speaking of live shows, until our producer pulls up the video, so Will and Grace actually has a campaign that they sell off their raffle tickets to they auction off their tickets to their live show to get some money for a fundraiser, and they've already accumulated $1 million, so we can watch it right now. It's so cool.
suspiciously dark.
Yeah, what's with it?
Will and Grace is doing more than just making people laugh. The second season of the NBC revival has only been on the air since October 4th, but has already hit the $1 million mark with an innovative charity scheme. The campaign was founded in 2017 by the sitcom's co-creators David Kohan and Max Mutchnick, and ex-NBC chief Bob Greenblatt, and gives tickets for live tapings to charities to auction off. The idea was to pair a charity component alongside the making of the sitcom, which returned after 10 years off the air in 2017. The initiative began with 25 charities, but now boasts nearly 100 participants, including human rights campaign, GLAAD, and Troops First. Along with the chance to be present at a taping, bidders also get the chance to meet the show's stars, Debra Messing, Eric McCormack, Sean Hayes, and Megan Mullally.
Wow.
It's something that we came to when bringing the show back because it's just who we have become as people in the years that we were off the air, Mutchnick explains. Adds Cohen, they are all philanthropic people. They're the ones who take the time after and do the photos. It's part of the evening and they do it very graciously. They feel honored. The creators realized they had a solid idea on their hands after the first revival season was announced. McCormack was approached by his son's school about getting 2 tickets to use for a silent auction, and those tickets went for $25,000. Wow. You realize how lucky you are when you're in the position to have a show like this, Mutchnick adds, of both being able to come back and give back. It's something that we're proud of, but it's also something that we shouldn't be too proud of because it's what we should be doing. Will and Grace, which films before a live audience, is now more than halfway through filming the 18-episode second season and has already been renewed for a third. And while Cohen and Mutchnick say they aren't in the business of pushing their model on other sets, Mutchnick does have this message to share. If you can raise money through your work, then you should. Everybody should raise money for people who need it. For more on this story, head to thr.com.
Awesome,
I love
right?
that.
So golden.
My jaw
so
just
golden.
dropped.
And I know Crystal has some news for our
I
show
also
before we
have
wrap
some
up.
news. So Megan Mullally and her husband Nick Offerman, they have a book that they wrote, and it's called "The Greatest Love Story Ever Told in
So
Oral
exciting.
History." So basically, I have a video that they're gonna pull up right now, but it's just a super funny, cute book that they wrote. I watched an episode of her on Jimmy Fallon, and she was talking about how that came about, and it was that I guess her husband is like someone who writes all the time. He's got multiple books.
Oh, yeah.
And so
Major.
she said, why don't we write about a relationship? People are always asking us about it. So why not do that? So he said no. And then she goes, and then we wrote a story. And so basically she said that they would lay down in bed and they would turn their phone recorders on, and then they would bring up certain topics, and then they would talk about those topics. I have not read the book yet, but it sounds amazing.
So real.
It sounds so funny.
Yeah.
And then I have a clip that they're going to bring up soon, but it basically is a clip of Megan Mullally and her husband talking or reading part of the book. It's so funny. You guys are gonna crack up, and I can't wait for
I
you
hope
guys
we
to
have
see
time
it.
for that clip.
Yeah.
I know.
Kind of long
Yeah,
time. but-
it's so you want to start it at 2:27.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's at Barnes & Noble now and Amazon. It's probably everywhere.
Oh,
But you know what? That's cool about them because they had this whole Twitter thing going on too. They had 2 naked pictures of each other.
Oh,
and
yeah, you
Megan said something like, "Oh, our sex tape's coming out." Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
That is so funny.
You tweeted us
Yeah,
that.
I did.
that-
And then shout out to Megan. It's her birth. It was her birthday, November 12th.
I know.
Yes.
Happy birthday.
Exactly. Oh, here it is. Perfect. Thank you, Phil.
I don't think that's
I have to check this out. I really do. So cool.
Right. This is from the introduction of the book. We have groundbreakingly divided this searing examination of a relationship between 2 human beings into chapters with different subject matters and headings. It's an oral history presented to you in an organized yet playful fashion, dotted here and there with photography and cute drawings.
Before you dive in, make sure you've had a good meal. You'll want to make sure you're hydrated. And if you're of age, a little bit of intoxication would not hurt the consumption of this time.
Brilliant.
And then you may want to buckle up. Actually strap into a seat because otherwise you might end up on the floor. If you're wearing a hat, go ahead and remove it because it's guaranteed to fly off by the end of chapter 3.
Okay.
All right. I don't think we've oversold it.
No, I don't think that of the many dangers facing us.
I think we've exercised a good deal of restraint in our own praise of our own book about ourselves.
Antony and Cleopatra,
Off.
Samson and Delilah,
Get lost.
Bogart and Bacall.
Never had a chance.
Suck it.
All right. See you guys at the book.
See you there.
So natural. Like,
Isn't that fabulous?
Yeah.
I also loved the photos. You have to watch that whole
Yeah,
episode,
we
but
will.
basically they bring up the photos in the book. Hilarious. They've got such a great sense of humor.
awesome Christmas gift idea, too.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, Crystal.
that
so
was
now
great.
let's talk about predictions real quick, and then we're good to go. Predictions.
I predict.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV.
Yeah.
I predict that Katie actually does meet Grace, and they get along just fine.
I predict a love interest for Will enter very soon.
Yeah, we know that that'll happen. I'm excited too because I feel like again Will doesn't have a lot going on right now. He's like always in the supporting role.
shadow.
And I agree with you about Noah and Grace. I feel like Katie will change the relationship in a better way and maybe a healthier way.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Yeah.
What
Okay,
about you?
guys. Well, that's what I
That's
said.
what you said.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Basically,
okay.
just Katie will be present in their lives, and Noah will be okay with that.
Okay.
And I think it'll be like a family bond.
Yeah,
affair.
I like
And
that.
yeah, and then for Will, I want him to already have someone too, because he's just been a supporter of everything. Now he needs his own life, and you know, Jack and Karen just let them float a bit until we
let
figure
them be
that out.
themselves. I love
Until
it.
we figure that out. But in the meantime, where can everyone find you, ladies?
I'm Crystal McLaughlin. You can find me on all social media.
Ooh, girl.
At Crystal A23. That's Crystal with an I, not a Y. And you can also find us right after this for Shaw's of Sunset. We're going to do the reunion, so please tune in.
Hey guys, I'm Maitha Creo. You can find me everywhere at This Is Maitha, and you can also find me Monday night, Raw Housewives of OC. We have 2 special guests joining us. I'm not going to say who, but you guys are going to want to stay tuned and watch. And I have Shaws of Sunset as well with Crystal next.
And I'm Louisa Shar. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Louisa Shar. I'm also on the Ray Donovan After Show Sunday nights at 7 p.m. So check me out there. Until then, see you next time.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.